Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com, helping you create something awesome today. So today I want to talk to you about personal branding. Personal branding, in my opinion, is more important than it's ever been. And I think that there's a lot of misperceptions. I think there's a lot of confusion around it. There are people who are going to tell you, don't be a Kardashian, hun, or hey, you're not a product, you're not bottled water, you're being inauthentic, you're being fake. What do you want a personal brand for? You know, I had a personal brand when I was 8 years old. It was called Being the Kid with all the Nintendo games. I had a personal brand when I was 17 years old. It was called Being the, Smart Aleck cross-country captain. You have a personal brand, whether you leverage it or not, whether you think you have one or not, whether you want to be a Kardashian or not. Everybody has a personal brand because everyone has a story, and it's a story that people choose to tell about you. It's about whether you're going to help dictate that narrative in an intentional way that serves your higher purpose, or whether you're gonna let other people paint a narrative of you that probably is unflattering or has nothing to do with who you think you really are. Personal branding isn't about narcissism and ego and vanity. I mean, I know there are some people who must think that that's the case if they're looking at Instagram profiles of the most high profile people in the world, but at its core, that's not really the point, and that's not necessarily an example that scales to everybody else. That's just painting in broad strokes, and we can do that all day about people in any category, in any arena, in any industry, in any demographic. You could sit there and you could talk trash on anyone you want for any reason you want. I just think that that's a waste of time. Let's approach this differently. Let's reframe how you think about personal branding and how you explain it to people. From my point of view, your personal brand is not only a combination of your reputation and the story that you tell yourself. I think it's also a matter of the body of work that backs up that story, that backs up that narrative, the evidence. I think that social proof isn't about how many Twitter or Instagram followers or YouTube subscribers you happen to have. I think that social proof at the end of the day is what you have to show people in terms of something that either lends to your credibility or to your authenticity, and again, is about showing your work. In fact, one of my favorite books from this bookshelf is the book Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. I think that this is a really practical book for you guys to read. You can definitely find it in the description there if you're looking for it. But this is an important book because I think it teaches valuable lessons about the fact that demonstrating value is important, especially if you're going to ask something of other people. Building your personal brand is about establishing the know, like, and trust factor. If people don't know you, then how do they buy from you, or how do they hire you? If people don't necessarily like you, why would they? And if they don't trust you, again, there's a lot of anxiety in making any kind of decision if trust isn't there. As for authenticity, if you don't want to be fake, don't be fake. Novel idea, I know. But in reality, it's really straightforward. If you want to be authentic, your personal brand is a great way to use that authenticity to attract the right relationships to you. And if authenticity is something that's really important to you, which it is for me, there's another value to it that you may not have considered. Authenticity can attract the right relationships to you, and it can also keep people that are undesirable at bay. When you're authentic and you're communicating your values, your principles, the things that you're most interested in, and you're being very straightforward about it, again, people can make an informed decision as to how much time and effort they want to invest with you. When you're being fake about that with your agenda instead of upfront about your agenda, then people are making an uninformed decision, or sometimes they can sense that, and then it makes them uncomfortable with you. There's nothing wrong with doing something and having a specific intention or a motive behind it. If you're clear and upfront about that motive, then it's not ulterior, it's not something under the surface, it's something that you clearly stated. If you said, hey, you know what, I'm actually really interested in meeting people that are successful because I want to learn from them and I want to interview successful people, then people who don't have the confidence and don't consider themselves successful won't ask you for an interview if you're upfront about it. They won't waste their time and they won't waste your time. That's how authenticity is both a funnel and a filter. People who consider themselves successful and have the confidence will approach you and be like, hey, you know what? I want to be on your podcast, or I want to be interviewed and everything like that. I like your program and I think I have value to offer your viewers or your listeners. So again, building your personal brand is about acting intentionally with regard to how you communicate, how you storytell, how you network, how you build your work, how you show your work. That's all it comes down to at the end of the day. And again, a lot of the people who are telling you that, oh, personal branding is packaging yourself and it's being fake, those are the same people that if you interview with them for a job are gonna tell you to package yourself and you be fake. They're not gonna want your opinion in the job interview of how you really feel. They're going to want you to dress to the like standards of the company and that company's culture. They're not gonna want you to dress in what you're comfortable with. They're not going to want to care about your individuality or your style. But again, these are the same people who are gonna tell you that if you build a personal brand, that you're being fake and you're, being polished and you're being packaged, when the reality is that they are probably a little bit more packaged and polished than they would be if they were being truly authentic and if they were worried more about communicating who they are as a person versus what they think is going to be respected for someone in their position or with their job title. And again, I do understand that I'm speaking somewhat broadly there, but again, that is what the majority of the criticism is whenever anyone advocates for personal branding or building a personal brand. The things that they attack are just talk about vanity, they talk about inauthentic, and they talk about packaging. But again, if you actually look at their own actions, then you can see that there might be a thread of hypocrisy there in most cases. The reason that I'm advocating for you to build your personal brand and that I give a lot of advice on this is I've seen how wildly successful it's been for other people and not just myself. Remember, 4 or 5 years ago, you had no idea who I was. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was not a public speaker. Building my personal brand, showing my work, showing my reputation, showing my abilities, my skills, and what I feel that I'm educated about made a huge difference in the outcomes of my life, my career, and grew my business. And I believe it can give you similar opportunities if you do it intentionally, and if you do it from a place of authenticity, and if you do it from a place of self-awareness more than anything. So, that would be my advice in you building your personal brand, and that would be my message to people who don't believe in it. Question of the day. Who are you? What's your story? What value do you offer to people? Let me know in the comment section. Who knows, maybe you can offer value to me or somebody else in this community. In any case, it'll be just interesting just to see how many different stories we get from different people with different perspectives and different skills. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, go out there and create something awesome today. Don't forget, show your work. Take care.